Hey everybody! Today we're going to be reading chapter 16 of 2nd Chronicles, and after I get done reading scripture, I'm going to explain why I think about it, how I feel about it, and I'm not an expert in scripture at all, so please do not lean on my understanding, but trust in the Lord for understanding and for guidance. And if I mispronounce any names, places, people, words, anything like that, I do apologize. And as always, I'm reading my Bible. It is the New Living Translation, so the NLT, for those who want to follow along. And without further ado, let's get started. In the 36th year of Asa's reign, King Baasha of Israel invaded Judah and fortified Ramah in order to prevent anyone from entering or leaving King Asa's territory in Judah. Asa responded by removing the silver and gold from the treasuries of the temple of the Lord and the royal palace. He sent it to King Ben-Hadad of Aram, who was ruling in Damascus, along with this message: "Let there be a treaty between you and me like the one between your father and my father. See, I am sending you silver and gold. Break your treaty with King Baasha of Israel so that he will leave me alone." Ben-Hadad agreed to King Asa's request and sent the commanders of his army to attack the towns of Israel. They conquered the towns of Ijon, Dan, Abel, Beneth, Makkah, and all the store cities in Naphtali. As soon as Baasha of Israel heard what was happening, he abandoned his project of fortifying Ramah and stopped all work on it. Then King Asa called out all the men of Judah to carry away the building stones and timbers that Baasha had been using to fortify Ramah. Asa used these materials to fortify the towns of Gibeah and Mizpah. At that time, Hananiah the seer came to King Asa and told him, "Because you have put your trust in the king of Aram instead of in the Lord your God, you missed your chance to destroy the army of the king of Aram. Don't you remember what happened to the Ethiopians and Libyans and their vast army with all their chariots and charioteers? At that time you relied on the Lord, and he handed them over to you. The eyes of the Lord search the whole earth in order to strengthen those whose hearts are fully committed to him. What a fool you have been! From now on you will be at war." Asa became so angry with Hananiah for saying this that he threw him into prison and put him in stocks. At that time, Asa also began to oppress some of his people. The rest of the events of Asa's reign from beginning to end are recorded in the book of the kings of Judah and Israel. In the 39th year of his reign, Asa developed a serious foot disease. Yet even with the severity of his disease, he did not seek the Lord's help, but turned only to his physicians. So he died in the 41st year of his reign. He was buried in the tomb he had carved out for himself in the city of David. He was laid on a bed perfumed with sweet spices and fragrant ointments, and the people built a huge funeral fire in his honor. Thus ends the reading of chapter 16 of 2nd Chronicles. So, in all honesty, what just happened in this chapter is something that I am learning not to do. Because all my life I've had to put my trust in my family for provision and stuff. And the Lord is bringing me out of that. He is literally teaching me to trust in him for provision. He's teaching me to trust in him for everything, to not rely on any human or anything, to rely on him. So I am learning that, and I do understand how Asa made this mistake. Asa was being what's the word? I'm gonna say invaded, because I think that's the word. Asa was being invaded by another king, and by the king of Israel. Asa, who was the king of Judah, was being invaded by the king of Israel, and instead of seeking the Lord for help, he went to another king, the king of Aram, for help. So it reminds me of times where instead of seeking the Lord for help, I would go to, let's say, a relative. I would go to a relative for help. So So I understand how Asa felt this way. It's a common mistake. It's a common mistake to make. I'm learning that the Lord truly does provide. Like, he's like you know how in order for someone who's been traumatized, in order for them to develop trust and stuff like that again, you have to consistently prove to them that you are trustworthy and everything. And it's like, that's what the Lord is doing for me. You know, I come from a family where I had, you know, like, literally growing up as a child, you know, you look to your parents and elderly family members, you know, older family members and stuff like that to take care of you, you know, the adults in your family, because literally they're supposed to, you know, because you're a child. But I could not rely on, you know, my family, you know, for a stable provision and everything. And sometimes the provision came with manipulation. It came with strings attached. It came with control. It came with, you know, a bunch of negative stuff. And, you know, like the Lord is trying to get me out of that. Like me and Asa is different. Like, it seemed like Asa for a long time trusted in the Lord, and, you know, and all that. And I'm guessing Asa probably forgot real quick what all the Lord then brought him through, and sought out a human king to help or something when he could have asked the Lord. I don't know what Asa was on. I just know that it's a common mistake, you know, that fear hits you or whatever, and you lose your sense. I don't know. But all I know is that Asa forgot, obviously, you know, that the Lord brought him through before and can do it again. With me, the Lord is, because I struggled with my relationship with the Lord growing up, and it's going on 4 years that I've been walking with the Lord, you know, since I gave my life over to Christ. And he is showing me how he provides. Like slowly but surely, he is putting me in situations where he is showing me that he provides. He's showing me all of the different ways in which he provides. Like I was in a situation, I'm going to tell y'all a story. So I was in a situation where I wanted some food, right? Because I'm currently staying with a relative, and technically, you know, I'm homeless because that's not my house, you know, and I'm just, you know, staying with a relative right now, you trying to finish up school and stuff like that, until the Lord, tell me to go somewhere else or whatever, So, like, I was in a situation where I wanted some food, right? And I did not want to ask this relative for any food, because I'm assigned to help my friend, one of my friends, a fellow sister in Christ. I'm assigned to help her, and I often, take her to food pantries and stuff to get food. So my friend ended up talking to another believer who was also at the pantry trying to get food, and they recommended that I go ahead and sign up for the food pantry, right? So I was like, you know what, why not? You know what I'm saying? So why I signed up for the food pantry that day, and thank God, I had the proper paperwork and everything I needed already in my car, along with my license and all that, so that way I could sign up. But basically, when we got the food, why, like, the Lord literally provided, like, everything that we needed. It was almost like he knew our checklist. Well, it's not almost like. The Lord knew our checklist. He knew exactly what all we wanted, from the grocery store, but we didn't have the money to get it, which was why we was at food pantries and stuff. So, like, he literally provided everything that we needed from the food pantry. Like, everything we needed, everything we had on our grocery list that we wanted or needed, he provided all of that. He even gave me my favorite pastries and stuff, like the like apple turnovers, like apple pies and stuff, and blueberry muffins and everything. It was just amazing to me, because that wasn't even a part of my plan to sign up for that food pantry that day. It was like all I was planning to do was just, like, I was there for my friend, my sister in Christ, to get food. But we both ended up getting food because the Lord just led me to sign up, and I ended up with everything that I wanted and needed. And it was just wonderful. Like, the Lord was showing me that he can and he will provide for me. I don't need to rely on anyone else, for food. Like, he got me. Why seek these other people? Why seek humans out for help financially, or for help with food, or for help with anything, when you got me? Like, the Lord literally owns everything. So if you need anything, just ask him. So, like, the Lord is just gradually teaching me this, because the Lord knows me. Like, he knows that I need to be told something many times before it sticks, and when it comes down to people, in order for me to trust them, like, you got to show me, like, you got to prove to me that I can trust you. You can't just do one thing one time and then expect to have all of my trust and stuff. No, you got to show me that you are consistent with that. Like, you are gonna be the same no matter what situation we in. You gon', you got me. And with my family, they just constantly showed me that they were not capable of providing, without it being some negativity, something tied to it that was not beneficial to me. Like no one wants to no one wants to live that way. In order for you to get what you need, you got to give up something, or you got to suffer through something, or whatever. Like, no one wants to feel that way. So, like with the Lord, he's showing me that he provides, he loves me. I don't have to suffer through nothing. His provision don't come with no conditions or anything like that. He loved me unconditionally. He got my back. He is showing me, you know, his power, what he capable of and stuff. And I just love it. And it's like I see the change in me. Like there was a time where literally I used to rely on my family still for provision, even though I knew I was gonna have to suffer. I was gonna have to go through something in order to get what I needed, even though I should never have to feel that way, because I'm the child and they're the adults and they're supposed to be, you know, take care of me and stuff, you know. And even though I'm a young adult now and everything, like I'm still in college trying to build my life, and you're supposed to be, you know, taking care of me and everything, you know, like you promised, and you know, like we agreed, and we're you know, and that's not happening. So, you know, like the Lord is showing me I don't have to depend on no one but him. I don't have to trust in anyone but him, you know, like he wants me to trust me. I mean, like he wants me to trust him. The Lord wants me to trust him 100% in everything. And that's what I'm learning. Like from that example, from that testimony with the food pantry and stuff, there have been other times where he has showed me that he provides and stuff. Like I'm be honest with you, I just recently took my friend who I'm assigned to, you know, my sister in Christ. I just recently took a trip with her down to her home state in order for her to take care of some business, because she couldn't drive due to pain from her, you know, medical issues, you know, her medical conditions. So which is, you know, one of the reasons why the Lord assigned me to her, so I could help her, you know, get her back and forth to her doctor's appointments and stuff like that. But yeah, like I drove her down there, and I had so many concerns. Like I was like, you know, I don't have the money, because I didn't have any money. Like I didn't have any money for gas. Like I only had enough money to put gas in my tank one time, and that was it. And then I was broke, you know. Like I didn't have any money. My car, I didn't know if it was gonna make it, you know, down there without any problems. I knew that it was close to the mileage before I needed a oil change, so I didn't know if I was even gonna be able to make this trip without needing an oil change. Like I didn't know that when we got down there whether or not we was gonna be able to get, you know, the business taken care of. I didn't know if, you know, if we was gonna be able to stay the night, you know, at a hotel or anything, and get some sleep before hitting the road, because I was the one doing all the driving, and I had never done a trip like that before. Like I had to drive 6 hours there, you know, and 6 hours back. So it was a lot. I've never done a trip like that before. Like I had to do it was just so many concerns that I had. I was like, you know, what are we gonna eat? You know, because I ain't had no money for food or nothing, you know. Like I was not prepared for this trip at all. So what I did was I just did my best with the little money that I had. I made sure I had enough left over to at least fill up my car with gas the one time in order to at least start the trip. So I did that. Then with the little money that I had left over, I bought us some bottled water, because y'all already know this heat is ridiculous. The heat has been ridiculous. And I bought us some bottled water. I had some snacks already, and I made us a little salad. That was it. And I had some fruit. That was it. That's all I had. I packed up my little my little bag for the night, you know, when you staying the night somewhere, because my friend told me that she had a place for us to stay, but I didn't know how that was looking, you know. I didn't know anything. So I literally trusted in the Lord for this whole trip. Like, before the trip, I prayed to him. I laid out all of my concerns before him, and I'm looking like, I'm trusting in you, because I refuse to ask my relatives for any help. I'm trusting in you, Lord, and I know that you can provide, and I know that you can do it. And I was a little scared, but I seen the Lord provide for me before, and I knew that he could do it again. And when I tell you, this trip, that was the most, that trip was so much fun. Like, oh my goodness. Okay, so like, we get on the road, right? And keep in mind, I had already filled up my car with gas, right? So that way we could at least start the dang trip. But I didn't have no money after that, you know? So I picked her up from her place, and, you know, I showed her that I got as much snacks, water, preparation. I did as much as I could with the little money that I had. She said that she had already planned for this trip. She had already, you know, gotten, you know, she had already she already got the money together and planned for this trip and all that. I was shocked, you know, because I felt like I thought we were both, like, you know, in a situation where, you know, where we was both struggling, which we are. But like, I don't know how, to this day, I don't know how she got the money for this trip. But it could have been nobody but God. I don't even need to know the details, but somehow, some way, she got the money needed for this trip. So I'm like, okay, because she said that she was gonna cover my gas and stuff, and I'm over here looking like, okay, I don't know where she got this money from, but okay. So she covered my gas. So we got there, and we made it back, you know, and she covered all of that, and she covered the food. So the food was covered and stuff, and it was just amazing. Like, we was on the road driving, looking at all of the farmland and all of the crops and stuff, all of the animals that we saw along the way, you know, the huge crops we saw along the way and everything. It was just so beautiful. And like, I was enjoying myself driving and stuff, because at first I really didn't want to make the trip, because I knew I didn't have the money in order to finance it. But I'm so glad that we went anyway. And it was just such a beautiful drive there. And when we got there, we was able to take care of the business that we needed to take care of. And then we ended up getting a hotel, because that was her hometown, that was her home state, and somehow, some way, she ended up getting a free room at a hotel for a night, which was all we needed, was a night. And then it was a casino there and stuff, so she got to have fun at the casino. I don't really do that, but she got to have fun at the casino. And she paid for the food and the drinks and stuff. I just got pineapple juice because I don't drink. She does, but it was just so great. I'm trying to make sure I don't forget anything. And on the trip back and everything, she paid for the food, paid for the gas and stuff like that. And like, everything was covered. Like Jesus made sure everything was covered. And why, at the end of the trip and everything, my car did not hit the mileage that was required in order for me to get an oil change. It didn't. And I know I had put like 1,000 or more miles on my car from this trip. And I got an old car, so I'm really trying to preserve her, you know. But like the Lord made sure that everything was covered. Every single last concern that I had, prayed to him, he made sure that all of that was covered. I ain't have to worry about a thing. We really didn't even touch like this, like the salad, like the fruit, the food that I had brought, because she bought all the food. You know, the only thing that we really touched that I had brought was like the drinks, like the water and the Gatorade and stuff. You know, but for the most part, the food didn't really touch that. I ended up taking it home and eating it. But like, the Lord made sure that we were covered. He provided for us the whole entire trip. And I was so thankful and I was so happy, because I did not rely on my family at all. I did not ask them for help at all. I wanted to so bad. Like, just like how Asa caved in and asked this king for help. Like, I wanted to ask my family for help so bad, but I was like, no, I'm finna trust in the Lord on this. I'm finna trust in the Lord on this. He is gonna provide. He is gonna provide. He has showed me, he has proved to me that he provides. Like, I don't have to worry about it. And currently, we in another situation where we need the Lord to provide. Me and my friend, my sister in Christ, we in another situation where we need the Lord to provide. And in all honesty, it's all of these other ways in which, you know, people be telling us to go ahead and do this in order to get help or whatever. But I'm over here looking like I just don't want to do it. I don't want to call nobody. I don't want to sign up for nothing. I don't want to ask nobody for help. I just want to ask the Lord for help. I want the Lord to send us someone our way to help us. Like, and I feel like the Lord can do that, you know? Like, I just love how the Lord is teaching me that he provides. You know, that I don't have to worry about anything. You know, and as a child coming from, you know, a toxic, dysfunctional family where you just could not rely on their provision, you know, you couldn't depend on provision from them. You know, it's difficult for me to trust people and everything, you know. So the Lord is teaching me to trust him. He's teaching me that he can provide and will provide, and that he loved me unconditionally, and he would never do anything, you know, to harm me or anything like that. And I'm just learning who he is, and I'm trusting who he is. Like, every time he come through for me, I'm building up confidence in him. I'm building up trust in him, you know. Like I know my God is able and everything. And I'm getting to the point where I don't even ask my family for nothing no more. I'm coming to the Lord with my stuff, and I know he gonna handle it. Like, I just love the Lord so much. He is teaching me so much. And it's like, Asa, I understand how he can make, I understand how he made this mistake and everything, but I understand how he made this mistake, but I feel like the more the Lord shows me that all these, oh my goodness, all these flies and dragonflies and just flying around this car, like, I can't. I'm gonna move, because I don't need nobody accidentally getting up in this car. I will have a heart attack, literally. But because I hate big old insects that fly and buzz and can get stuck in your ear or whatever. Like, oh my goodness, that is a fear of mine. I can't. Or up in your nose, or I can't, especially in your ear or whatever, somewhere you can hear. Oh my goodness, I would die. I would literally die. I can't. But yeah, anyway, like, I love the Lord so much. He is teaching me so much. I love the fact that I can finally rely on someone. I don't have to figure it out myself. I don't have to do it myself. I don't have to be this strong, black, independent woman and all that who don't need no man to. I ain't gotta do all of that. Like, I can rely on Jesus. Like, and he gonna take care of me. I get to be a child. I don't know what it's like to be a child because I've always had to be the mature person taking care of they parent and they sibling, and always had to be the adult. Like, I'm tired. Like, I want to be a child. I don't want to have it figured out. I just want to follow Jesus. Jesus know what we doing, and whatever Jesus tell me to do, that's what I'm doing. And I love telling people that. They be like, so what's your plans? What you doing? Shoot. And I be like, whatever Jesus tell me to do. Whatever Jesus want me to do, that's what I'm doing. And then they be so mad with you too when Jesus only tell you the next step. So you literally just do the next step, but you don't know the whole plan. And they be wanting to know all your business. They be wanting to know the whole plan, but you can't even tell them because you don't even know the whole plan. Only Jesus know. He only told you the next step. They be so mad. And I be looking like, what is you mad for? Like, so what? I don't know the whole plan. I don't need to know the whole plan. Jesus only revealed the next step. And that's all I need to worry about. The next step is enough. Shoot, the next step might be hard. I can't handle the whole plan right now. I can't. All I need is the next step. The next step might be doing something like cutting somebody off. That's going to be hard. All depending on who it is. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Some people real easy to cut off because you tired, you done. Other people it's hard because they ain't necessarily do nothing. But like, can't take you where, I can't take you with me, where I'm going because Jesus said I can't. So like, I don't know what to tell you, but I got to go. Other people, yeah, I'm ready. I don't deal with you no more. Bye. But, like, y'all know what I'm saying. Like, the next step might be hard. I don't need to know the whole plan. If I know the whole plan, I'm probably not gonna want to do it. I just need like, baby feed me. I'm not ready for, I'm not ready for the whole full course, meal. I'm not ready for the whole spread, the whole buffet banquet, table setup type. I'm not ready for all that. I just need my little courses at a time. I need my little taste at a time. Just give me the next steps. I don't need to know the whole plan. Now, sometimes, all depending on what the next step is, I'm gonna need some instructions with that next step. So that way I know I'm doing it right. But other than that, we good. But yeah, Asa, I feel bad that Asa, messed up. But, this also reminds me that we not perfect, and that's fine. Asa probably ended up in heaven, in all honesty, because to me it seemed like he was still a king that did what was good and pleasing in the Lord's sight. You know what I'm saying? But then again, I don't know. All I know is that anytime the Bible says that a king did what was pleasing in the Lord's sight, I just assume that they're a righteous person and they gonna end up in heaven, like King David and stuff. No matter if they make mistakes or not, because we all imperfect, But because whenever I read that statement, to me that sounds like, okay, throughout the course of their whole life, they did what was good and pleasing in the Lord's sight. Even if they made mistakes along the way, they were still a righteous person in the end. That's how I always read that statement. Whenever they say that a king did what was evil in the Lord's sight, I always read that statement like, okay, throughout their whole entire life, they did what was evil in the Lord's sight. Even if they probably did some good stuff, along the way or whatever, ultimately, though, they did what was evil in the Lord's sight. And that's it. So, but yeah, I feel bad that Asa made this mistake. I understand. I truly do understand why he how he made it. But at the end of the day, he should have relied on the Lord. He should have trusted in the Lord. Like, the Lord literally, you were faced with 1,000,000 enemies, and you only had like 500,000 warriors, soldiers and everything in your army. So they had double the soldiers on the enemy side, and literally the Lord made you victorious, made you the victor when the odds was against you. I mean, from a from physical standpoint, from an army tactical standpoint, the odds was against you, but you had the Lord on your side. So, and you consulted him and you trusted in him, so you won. Like, you believed in him and you called out to him in your distress, and you won. So, like, why we didn't do this again, I don't know, but it's okay. We all make mistakes. Sometimes we all forget. We forget where the Lord brought us from, and I don't ever want to forget that. I don't ever want to forget that. I always want to remember how the Lord rescued me and how the Lord called me out. And all of the ways in which the Lord provided for me and was there for me. I don't never want to forget. So that way, when I'm ever in a similar situation, I can just continue to trust in the Lord and call on him, and he'll have my back. So, yep, that's all I had to say, y'all. I had to tell y'all a couple of my testimonies and everything that happened recently, because they were so beautiful, and the Lord is just so awesome. And I know he gonna continue to provide for me. So y'all ain't gotta worry about me at all. Thank y'all for listening. I love you. Jesus loves you, and have a blessed day. Bye.